It's our time. It's our time.
Hey there, I'm Shub from North of Normal, and you're listening to One Song, One Story. Today's episode is about memory, identity, and the kind of music that doesn't just move you, it stays with you. I'm joined by Zeina El Khaldi, calling in from Montreal on a snowy morning. And before we even get into the song, we're already talking about movement, ritual, nature, and how music lives in the body. The track Zeina brings isn't a quick listen. It's 8 minutes long, it's rooted in history, and it carries the weight of generations. This conversation moves through grief, resistance, identity, hope, and the strange way a song can become a place you return to when the world feels too heavy. This feels like a powerful one. Enjoy. Welcome to the One Song, One Story podcast, Zeina El Khaldi. How are you today?
Pretty good. Doing well. Looking forward to this conversation.
Good. And whereabouts in the world are you today?
Montreal in Ile Bizarre. That's where I'm at.
It's very nice. And how has your day been so far?
You know, it's nice Saturday, so I woke up late. I went to the gym. I did legs. It was a nice hard workout. It was snowing on my way there, snowing on the way back. It's really nice temperature when it's snowing, and it's the pretty snow. So I really enjoyed my morning thus far. Yeah, and then was just kind of sitting, listening to the song, prepping just to energetically be present here for our chat together today. So
Beautiful. And if today was a song, what would the title of that song be and what would the vibe be?
it would be, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
I love that one.
Yes, so it would definitely be that, because I'm definitely starting to feel this like Christmassy vibe of just being with people you love and getting thoughtful, intentional something for people you love. So I'm starting to feel that buzz in my body. So that would be the song today.
Me too. That started like 2 days ago for me. I was like, up till 2 days, I was like, not interested at all. And then 2 days ago, I think I was like, I'd really like to buy someone this lovely gift, thoughtful gift. And then I was in. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is going to be a beautiful time.
Yeah.
So feeling Christmassy, snow helps with that as well, right?
It does. Everything is covered in snow. So yeah, for sure.
Good, good. And you have brought an amazing song. I'm super excited to get into this song choice with you, and we will get into it. But one thing I like to do at the start is explore a song that connects us. Okay. I will ask you, no worries if you haven't got one, but a song that connects us, my song that always connects us is a song called Lemonade Lake by Jungle. Because we met, I would never have known the year, but you just said we met in Costa Rica in 2019 when you were working at the Soltara healing retreat, the Soltara ayahuasca retreat. You were teaching yoga for the 2 weeks I was there. Thank you very much for that. And I don't know how it came about, but you were talking about your love of dance, your love of movement and all these things. And we ended up making a video. So I basically filmed you dancing in the Maloka, and the song I put to it was Lemonade Lake. And it was beautiful. It was like a real privilege. All I was doing was just running around the side of the Maloka filming. And I don't think you had any music on, which I found like really interesting. You were there just free form dancing, and it was incredible to watch. So I always think of Lemonade Lake when I think of you, because that was a beautiful time and had such fun making that video with you.
Yeah, I definitely have gone back to that video a few times. And definitely, that song, whenever I hear it, it's on one of my playlists. I always think of you. Yeah, I do enjoy watching that video because, it was also at a time where I was exploring my movement and my, sensual feminine energy in my body. And it felt good to be asked to just, hey, can you move? And I just want to it just felt like I guess in that moment for me, it was a sort of validation that continue on the path that you're at. So
Mm, that was great. Is there a song, do you have a song that connects us, or would it be the same song?
yeah, I'm gonna have to say it would be Lemonade for sure
That's
because
cool.
yeah, because and to be honest with you, like that video, the facilitators at Soltara saw it, and it was interesting because I got a little bit of flack for it because I don't,
Really?
a little bit, just, they thought it was like people see what they want to see, but
Mm,
they thought it was there's like a sexual element about it. I don't know, in some of my movement or something.
yeah.
And I heard about it. So yeah, I would say I have the same song that connects us because I didn't know that song prior to you.
Mm,
And I've listened to that song and moved on that song several times after that meet because it has such a nice, easy kind of flow to move with. And
yeah.
the way you put it with the dance move, it kind of feels like I was dancing to that song. So
Yeah, it does. It does. But I remember at the time thinking, it's such a shame that I have to cut this to get this down because I almost feel there was a beauty in I mean, I think the whole video was something like 9 minutes.
mm,
And after seeing it with my eyes, it felt a shame to be like, oh, cut that bit. I'll squeeze that bit in there because it didn't, yeah, but it did work well. And I think what I found fascinating, not only on that day, but I've seen you on social media since as well, is that there does seem to be a mix of, I don't even know if I'd call it dance. It feels like just movement and then yoga and exploration. Dance almost feels like the wrong word for it, but it's quite fascinating. It feels like you're just figuring it out and feeling it as you go along. And I think that's why I said it was very interesting that there was no music on at the time because there's nothing to guide you, just I guess what your body's telling you or what you're feeling.
yeah, or what you're hearing in your mind. But it was just, in a space like the Maloka, there's a
Mm,
lot of already present sounds there, the birds, the crickets. It was during the day. And I have in my life learned how to appreciate the music that's already here for us. I often don't listen to music when I'm at the gym. I don't listen to music when I'm walking because I feel like there's already music if we're willing
mm.
to listen to it. So um yeah, that's what I will say about that.
Yeah, I really hear you on the walking thing. Like when I go out for a walk over the road, there's fields, there's birds. I kind of feel like I'm missing out with headphones on. But the gym, I've got to wear them. I've got to wear them. My senses aren't sophisticated enough to hear the music there. I just hear noise.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I've done the music at the gym, but I find lately I like to use the gym as a way to just empty whatever thoughts are in my head. So I listen to whatever crappy music they have there, but
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the not relying on music, and I've been a little bit more attentive to the music that I listen to. Just because it's all, in my opinion, spells that are being put on us. So it is good for us to be
Wow.
cautious of what we're consuming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful way to put it. Um, when did your kind of journey with dance, movement, whatever you want to call it, when did that start?
Yeah, if I want to be very transparent and honest, which I will be, I was an erotic dancer when I was younger, and I did that for 6 years. And then, I left that world. So I would say I definitely discovered my love for movement and the desire to move around people who appreciate movement. So this is important because, so I would say it started then. I was about 18 years old is when that part of my life started. And then I left it. I left dancing for, just exploring movement for a long time, although I did get into yoga at that time. But then in 2019, again, when we kind of met at Soltara, because I would always go before ceremony and take my time in the Maloka to move and,
Mm.
just really enjoy the sacred space that it is. And, that's when I and I did Budokan, which is a mixed martial art style of movement. They incorporate yoga, mobility, and jiu-jitsu training. So, yeah, I would say it started, all around there. And even when I was much younger, when I was younger living in the Middle East, I never did sports in school. Like I don't have a sporty bone in my body. I'm not coordinated. But we did sing and dance when, we were always in the school choir. We did like local dances. So that element of being close to music and dance has always kind of been part of my life. Even as a
Mm.
kid, I would sit down and sing to my relatives. I used to have a good voice. I also pushed that part of me away. So the artist has always been there because I also think that there's an artist in all of us. Um,
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. I believe that too. And you touched on music. I challenge you on used to be a singer. I'm sure there's still a voice in there as well. But what are your earliest memories of music? And I mean, like really kind of either really feeling music or falling in love with a song.
So I would say there's an Arabic artist called Majda Rumi, and she sings about like a lot of love songs. She was my first love of music. I would listen to her songs and make a point of memorizing the words of the song because I really loved her voice, the songs that she was listening to. And I would say that was very early on in my life. I was maybe 6 or 7 when I started falling in love with music and singing and exploring my voice and what it can and can't do. So it started at a very young age. And from my understanding as well, from my father's side of the family, there's a lot of music talent. So, it's in my blood.
It runs deep.
Yeah.
That's cool. What role would you say music plays in your life now? We touched on there. Some people are everything they do is headphones in. Other people rarely listen to music. What role does it play in your life right now?
It moves me in very profound ways. Even just saying that makes me teary-eyed because I think music has such power over me. If we pay attention, music can move our mood according to the song and how you
Mm.
are relating to it and how you're experiencing it. Uh, I find that when I am needing to have a release of some sort, that's when I lean on music because it'll allow me to get really close to these emotions that I feel I need to experience and allow to move through my body. So I do feel like more and more I'm using music as a form of somatic therapy so that I can
Mm.
Yeah, so I can better deal with the flows of life. Music's role in my life has definitely shifted from just mindlessly listening to whatever's on to being intentional in how I use music in my
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I think a few things there. Quite a few guests have talked about their relationship with music over the years when it's changed from really consciously selecting a record versus now where you just press play and it will keep flashing stuff up. There is a real difference in that conscious element of consciously choosing to listen to one particular piece of work. But also fascinating as well when you said to move stuff in your body. When Todd was on, Todd Michael Roberts, our friend from Soltara as well, he was talking about, you know, life just being vibration and frequency, and music is vibration and frequency. And there may well be some frequencies that really resonate with your body and change stuff that might not do it for another person. And sometimes, and again, it's come up with other guests, sometimes your body knows that it needs to listen to a certain song, even though your mind may not know, or your brain may not know. Your body's just like, we need that right now. And that's what's going to
Yeah.
move it.
It's medicine, you know, it's
Yeah.
medicine if we allow it to be. So, and Todd is absolutely right. It's a vibration, it's a frequency, and if it's matching where you are, it can take you to where you want to go and really feel a true release in the body, you know.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And I think it would be a great time to actually find out what this song is. But just before we do, I guess a quick heads up for anyone tuning in for the first time. This isn't a deep dive into music theory or production hacks. This show is about the stories behind songs and the ways that they become part of who we are. And so if you haven't heard the track Zeina is about to talk about, we're about to explore, please take a second to pause, give it a listen, and then come back. And I think you'll feel that the conversation just hits a little deeper once the song is in your head. Zeina, please could you tell us what song you brought with you today, please?
So today I chose the song by the very famous Arabic artist named Fayruz. She's world renowned, and the name of the song is Zahrat Al-Maidan. And it's a song about Jerusalem. It's a song about it's a long song. It's 8 to 9 minutes long. The intro is quite long and tedious. The song is you know, when you first hear it, it takes you to so many different places. It's not your typical like song where it's like one kind of rhythm and that's it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Zahrat Al-Maidan. Again, it's about Jerusalem. It's about really, it centers around the war in 1967 when Jerusalem, you know, was entered. But I believe it didn't, you know, because she sang it in concert in 1967, but it really didn't become like as popular or, you know, spread until the mid 1970s.
This was the first time I'd ever heard it, so I think we were just chatting before that, and half the reason I encourage listeners to listen to the song is just to get it, just to be brought into what we're talking about. But I played this morning, and without knowing anything about it, it was a powerful song to listen to. So I'm just so excited about getting into this with you, and also fascinated that it was such an old choice. I found that really intriguing, from 1967. And one thing I like to explore is kind of the process. Some people find it very, very hard choosing the song they're going to bring on. Was it an easy choice for you? Was it something you had to give a lot of thought to?
I definitely gave it some thought. And to be really transparent in today's world and what's happening around the world, as often as I can, highlighting that I'm Palestinian and that I'm a voice for the Palestinian people is really important for me. And I realized as I was thinking about the song that whatever song we explore, because there was another song that I was thinking, which is Wicked Game by
Chris
Chris
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have, you know, and that song has meaning in my life, but it's such a completely different story aspect of my life. And the aspect I would wanted to bring forth was a little bit around my Palestinian identity again. And I want to highlight it as identity because, you know, I am of the understanding that we are all one substance and identities are just these masks that we wear. And having said that, we are born into a certain DNA and a certain karma, and certain things are passed on and live in our bones and our skin. And I find as many masks as I take off, this mask is, I recognize that it's a mask, but I want to keep it close. I want to represent and speak for our people, you know? So yeah, I gave it a lot of thought.
Mm.
And, you know, I wanted, when I sent you the song, part of me wanted to send the question like, oh, is that okay? You know, because it's an old, long song. And I was like, no, I'm not going to ask that. That's the song I'd like to have a conversation about. And when I got your message this morning, it really warmed my heart that you were excited about the song as well. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I think any song choice would have been great. It's really about the authenticity and the rawness of your connection with it. So if this was the one that came to the top, then 100% the right one. And if we try to set the scene a little bit, what is your, I mean, do you remember the first time you heard this song? Can you talk us through when you first heard it or when you first became aware of it?
yeah, I would say I had heard this song as a young kid many times, because it would be either playing on the radio, especially in my grandma's house in Syria. But I would say that this song came back to me in 2000 when first came back to me in 2000. You know, we had moved away from the Middle East, and I wasn't using Arabic as much as my first language. English became my first language. And in 2000, I did my studies in communication studies, and I focused on US Israeli policies. So at the time, that song came back to me. And, you know, I listened to it with a lot of resistance, and I couldn't understand a lot of what she was saying. I could understand the words. I could feel her passion, but I didn't quite understand everything about the song.
Mm.
And, you know, when I was doing my studies, at the end of that degree, I wanted nothing. I didn't want to, I wanted nothing to do with this identity of being a Palestinian, not songs, not language. I wanted to push it as far away from me as possible, because after doing my studies in that, I felt really, really helpless. The
Yeah.
more and more I learned and discovered, I felt really helpless, because I felt nothing is stacked in our favor. Everything is stacked against us. And this feeling of helplessness is very disempowering. And so in some ways in 2000, I disowned that song. I was like, oh, it's such a boring song. It's like
Mm.
thick and heavy. Like, I'm not interested. So that's the first time I remember it coming into my life and me having deep resistance
Yeah.
to integrating it or even listening to it attentively. Like, it just felt heavy and undigestible.
Mm.
With everything that I was learning, I was just not interested in going there at all. I wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
interested
yeah.
in what that song was gonna move in my body. I wasn't ready for it.
And taking it back further, you know, when you were younger, I don't know if you'd class this song. I mean, it's not a pop song, right? I don't know if you would
No.
class it as a protest song or just a song about a certain time. But was it, you know, when you were younger, was it played in the mainstream or was it played at events? Where would you kind of come across this song?
It was played at home,
Okay.
and my mother is a history and geography teacher, and
Wow.
my father, you know, when they lived in Lebanon, worked with the Palestinian Revolution for a little bit of time. So my parents, you know, they were both born in Palestine, so they're very passionate. And I will say that my memories of this song as a child is how much I could see my mother in
Mm.
awe of the words of the song, and my mom trying to explain to us how amazing this song is and what it
Yeah.
represented to her. So my first experience of the song was really how my parents experienced this song, and especially my mother. So yeah, no, it wasn't played in concerts. I mean, unless you went to a Fayruz concerts, but it was played on the radio for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Arabic songs that are really, really long, because at that time, Arabic songs also, a lot of poets wrote lyrics for songs, and
Yes.
often songs ran really long. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, I would highly encourage listeners to get an English, if they don't speak Arabic, get an English translation of the lyrics, because it is pure poetry, and we'll probably get into all of that stuff later once you actually get past that crazy intro that makes you feel so much. Once you picked yourself back up the floor, certainly have a look at the lyrics, because there's a lot in there. And do you remember, I mean, maybe it's not a memory looking back, I think if you listen to it now, I don't really know how you consume music. Is it the lyrics that have the most impact on you? Is it the general sound? Is it the feelings you get in your body? Is it the memories? What is it going to do to you when you listen to it now?
When I listen to it now, the music and where the music goes, and I do recommend your listeners to, like you said, really pause and listen to the song so you know, so you can be in this conversation. Today, when I hear the song, I understand it. I understand why the music is so complex and takes us to so many different places. I understand the words, and today, when I listen to the song, I feel it. I feel it deeply. In I feel the power of those words. I feel the pain of this region. I feel the passion that Palestinians in diaspora have towards this land that some of us have never seen. So today, the song means, maybe to me, now I can relate to what my mother felt when I was a little girl, looking at her awe of the song and how meaningful it was to her. And today, because the meaning is felt in my body, I understand.
Wow. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff there. There's the power of the song. There's the power of the lyrics. It feels like there's a real understanding of suffering, and also remembering what your parents must have been feeling. So this is that's a lot. That's a lot.
And the song also carries so much hope with it. There's a definitely, I mean, in the song she says, لن يقفل باب مدينتنا فأنا ذاهبة لأصلي. So what she says there is, the door to our homeland is never going to be locked, and I'm going to my homeland to pray. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, it really gets me to talk about this song, over the last 2 years, everything happening in Palestine. There was this one day I remember I put the song in my ear, in my ears, and I went outside with Mother Nature. So earlier when I said, like, it's a release with everything that was happening, and we were all being witness to such atrocities on our 4G screens. And so many of us at some point felt so numbed up and clogged up because we were witnessing this injustice and nothing was being expelled from our body. So I was listening to the song, and those 9 minutes felt like an ayahuasca ceremony. All the places, all the sounds that my body released, the shaking, the grounding in what's available to me. And that's why I chose it, because every time I hear this song, especially over the last 2 years, it allows me a release, and it allows me to anchor back into hope, because it's very easy to fall into helplessness. But when I listen to this song, and the song, like I said, takes you to so many different places, but at the
Yeah.
end of the song, it really anchors you in trust, in surrender,
Mm.
and yeah.
Yeah, interesting listening to you talk. I mean, you said before when you were studying that there was a certain amount of resistance to this song, you know, and then it's found you and probably kind of floored you. But why do you think there was that resistance earlier on to listening?
Now as we're talking, Shubi, I think every Palestinian deeply identifies with that song. It means a lot to us. And I
Mm,
think maybe that resistance back there then was, again, what I told you. I didn't want to be a Palestinian. I was like, I just didn't want that identity to be part of who I am. And I think unknowing to me, that maybe why there was so much resistance to hearing this song and understanding it on a deeper level. But today, like I said, I'm proud of that identity, that piece of mask that I wear. And yeah, I would say the resistance was just a self-hate, you
mm.
know?
Yeah, and you mentioned you've probably certainly the last 2 years it's in your life more. Is it something that you choose to listen to for a certain reason?
Yeah, I mean, I know when my body is filling up with things that I haven't processed, not just from be observing and but just in life. And often I know exactly what kind of music I need to listen to allow whatever's in my body to be released. And that's the song I go to when I feel that what's happening in my body is collective pain that I've been witness to a lot, and I'm not processing. I'm not like, either I'm not journaling, I'm not speaking to friends about it. So if that's happening, then I always go to this song to give me that 9-10 minutes of allowing myself to grieve, to cry tears that need to be cried for all the mourning mothers and fathers that had no time to mourn their loved ones. And I feel those of us who feel and can decipher what's my pain and what's collective pain, having a song like that has been very therapeutic,
Mm,
because I can give myself those 10 minutes to allow whatever needs to come to the surface, no matter how ugly, how loud, how destructive. I have those 10 minutes, the duration of that song. And
mm.
after that, I can come back to my breath and anchor back in my awareness of the now. So yeah, I do use it as a form of purging.
Yeah, yeah. And again, from really discovering this song, I woke up to your message this morning, and first moment I got, I went up and played it, and I think if you played this song as an instrumental, it would be incredibly powerful. And then you put the vocals in there, incredibly powerful. And I don't speak Arabic, so I then went and looked at the lyrics, and you're like, oh God. But I remember doing a little bit of kind of digging both in the translation of the lyrics and trying to understand the meaning. And one thing that kept coming out, which is kind of fascinating because of when the song was written, what it was in response to, and the kind of the deep feelings that it's processing, is that, like you said before, it does feel universal. It doesn't seem to be focusing on blame or injustice. There's beautiful metaphors in there. It seems soft. It actually seems universal in terms of both the religions as well. And it's incredible to think of what they must have been going through and everything that they felt to process it in a way that's actually come out so beautiful. And I guess I was going to get your take on that, because I'm someone who's probably translated some lyrics and made up my own assumptions. I wasn't there. I don't live in that space, but I wanted to get your take on really what you think they're saying, and kind of how that's all come out in the soul.
So, you know, Jerusalem is the birthplace of all monotheistic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And she highlights that in the song, that Jerusalem is the home to all of us, not just one creed. She does not differentiate. I mean, Fayruz is not Palestinian. She's a Christian Lebanese woman. So that's one thing about the song that I love, that she highlights Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, all that we are all one religion for the people, and this is our home. Jerusalem is our birthplace. That's one. I find that the song also speaks of cycles of, she speaks of the prisoners, and that the hope that always lives with the prisoners. She speaks of the mourning mothers. She touches upon all the elements of what war does to us, really. So that is a universal theme, because anyone who's touched by political injustices can appreciate different parts of the song. The song at one point, I don't know if you notice, it becomes very like almost army-like. It's becomes there are moments in the song where you were calm and suddenly you're like, what's happening? And that part of the song is a reminder. The way I interpret that part of the song is that karma is lived here on this planet. Like the what you see, what you sow, you reap the benefits of it in this lifetime. And if you are doing the opposite, if you're spreading maliciousness, you will also feel in this lifetime. So I appreciate that element of the song, and I'm going through the song in my mind right now to remember parts of the lyrics. Yeah, I mean, she touches on religion, she touches on humanity, she touches on the suffering that we all experience, and she touches, I feel like, the cycle of karma, like the good you sow, you experience in this lifetime, and the evil that you sow, you will see its destruction in this lifetime. So
Yeah. And the title, what would you say the translation of the title is, please?
Zahrat Al-Maidan means Al-Maidan is Al-Maidan is like the place in a country, like a courtyard place where everybody comes, like where the church bells goes. So Zahrat Al-Maidan, Zahra is the flower of Al-Maidan, the flower of the city. Jerusalem being the jewel of this region, because it holds all religions. It holds all, where it's the birthplace of a lot of our a lot of
And I mean, that's a beautiful metaphor in itself, a flower that would never fight back, but it will just bloom anyway, and it dies and it grows again and comes back, which is, like you mentioned before, there's like a lot of hope in here. And again, I don't know whether you would term it as a sort of a protest song, but it seems an incredibly positive way to sort of document or process something that's happened. Like, I'm sure there were other songs at the time and they were probably angry and furious, and this seems to, the emotion in this seems to have come out in something so much more enduring and lasting and positive, which I think is, for me as a songwriter and someone listening, it's a fascinating process to think of what the writer must have been through on their own journey to process such strong emotions, and for this to come out I find that quite fascinating.
I love that I love the music that lives on. I love music that's eternal. This song was written in 1967, yet when I hear it today, this just before our call, everything feels like she's speaking to today's times. So for me, it's like a timeless song
Mm,
right now. The words of this song echo so strongly today. And yeah, I think what I appreciate about the song as you're speaking, it's coming clear to me. In moments where I feel super helpless, where the news that seems to be getting worse and worse every day, I turn to my mother, and this woman who's going to be 79 January has hope. She still carries the hope that is in that song.
mm,
No matter how bleak it becomes, we are steadfast on our path because we know where we stand. And that's what that song, like you said, it holds a message of hope. It speaks the story. It
mm.
speaks of the human suffering aspect of it. But the song is very much grounded in, we are doing this. We are coming out of it. And this is written in 1967
Yeah.
to demonstrate. Sometimes it takes decades and maybe centuries to come out of something, but we are coming out of it. We're like in the process of coming out of the cocoon, and it's very uncomfortable and but the hope is there. So, I think my mom is such a beautiful, strong woman. And I think this song is a beautiful, strong song
Mm,
that speaks the truth, but grounds it in, yeah, not revolution, but our ability to persevere and
mm.
see a better tomorrow.
It's quite powerful listening to you talk there, just putting it in context. I mean, you talked about going to this song when you feel you need to process something, and then in the context of your mother having this song since 1969, and I don't know, maybe it's had the same or something different for her. It's like a song that's across generations, maybe serving this same purpose. Have you ever talked to her much about this song at all, or is it more about your own personal connection with it?
Say that the song is quite powerful. I mean, you yourself heard it without understanding it, and you could feel the power,
Mm,
and it commands you to listen to it. The song commands, like I said, the instrumental, the music goes to a lot of different places. It almost speaks, the song speaks to different listeners. Sure, I feel like I've purposefully and intentionally have developed a special relationship to this song, but I will reckon that this song holds a lot of inner movement to a lot of people who empathize and sympathize with the Palestinian cause and the whole
mm,
region, the Levant region.
yeah, okay.
Her son, Fayruz's son, Ziad al-Rahbani, he's a revolutionary. He passed away, I think, last year. But, Fayruz has always been a voice for Palestine. She's even, like, I have a lot of respect for her. She's been offered a lot of money to go and sing in places, and she will refuse because of their stance with Palestine. So, you know, she is a revolutionary, and that this song does have that thread in it. And her son was also very much a revolutionary in all of his works. So the song holds power all on its own.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think our listeners will feel that in one way or another. It's fascinating there. Just again, we've talked about it that the song is powerful enough if you don't even go and translate the lyrics. And I think translating the lyrics, it becomes and doing a little bit of research, it becomes even more powerful. So I really hope people do that. And I think it's been incredible, you adding your own views and context into how long this has been in your life. And looking back on what we've shared, like the song itself, your story, the kind of memories that it carries, is there anything that stands out for you most right now, or anything new that's come up for you at all?
I mean, from our conversation, I've definitely made a few connections. My mom comes up a lot around the influence of this song.
Mm.
I do feel quite nostalgic when I hear this song. I feel like it's been in and out of my life for a very long time. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else for me
Mm.
there. It's a story. For someone who speaks Arabic and understands the lyrics, it really takes you through a story. And I think that's why it's so beautiful for me to hear it, because I can lose myself in the story that she's telling and really allow myself to feel the resonance of the words that she's saying, the deeper meaning. And I think today when I hear this song, it feels like it's carrying so much more with it than even when it was first released, because, like I said earlier, it's still relevant today. It speaks very much to what we are needing to face as a collective today. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we are kind of approaching the end of the conversation now. So is there anything more you want to say about this song, or anything that's on your mind, in your heart, that you feel you need to get out right now?
Yeah, I hope that people listen to this song and pray that we start seeing each other as really brothers and sisters. I hope people hear this song and feel into this collective desire to make things better for all of humanity. And I know it's such a utopian way of speaking, but we are in a dystopia now. So let's move a little bit more into a utopian. And I hope people listen to the story and have a deeper appreciation for old Arabic music, because Arabic music is very rich, it's a performance all on its own. Like I said
Mm.
earlier, a lot of songs have long intros. So there's an appreciation just for the music, there's an appreciation just for the voice. And like you said, there's an appreciation for how the music, the voice, and the meaning of the song all come together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope people have just a deeper appreciation for different music from different times and different places around the world. Music has a lot to offer us in terms of coming together.
And I hope so too. And you know what, maybe Arabic music from 1969 that no one has heard. We live in a world where everyone sees what's going on the TV every day. But I think bringing this song to the fore, and again, we will put a link to the song in there. I might even drop something in with just a translation just to help people out. But I think the power will come across no matter who's looking at it. So thank you, Zeina, for bringing this song and for bringing yourself so openly. It's been powerful to sit and talk about this song with you. And before we close, where can people find you, follow your work, connect with you?
So it's a little confusing. My name is Zeina El Khaldi, but my tag on IG is Zeina Zukari Coaching. I took my mother's maiden name because it just sounds so nice to the ear. So people can find me on IG at ZeinaZukariCoaching.com. That's really right now the only platform that I'm using, but if people are interested in coaching with me, there's a calendar link in there. If they just want to chat, they can DM me, but that's the way to reach me at the moment.
Yeah. I'll drop the link to your Instagram, the accounts, because I love your page. It kind of touches on some of the themes that we've talked about here. So I'll share that in there for anyone that's interested. Zeina, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity to share a little piece of me. I appreciate it a lot. It feels good in my body to have had this conversation. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you. Oh.
It's our time. It's our time. It's our time.